Early Harlem, and oh boy what a crucial place for the beginnings of art and music. This is where our story will take place. I hope y'all are familiar with the Jazz Age, because Harlem was the heart and soul of this movement. Now our story begins with Clarence and Rupert, two boys destined for musical greatness. Growing up right in the heart of Harlem, they were right in the epicenter of where their futures would take them. Clarence on the left, Rupert on the right, best friends by nature, destined by a future of greatness. Now as Clarence got older, he started to face some troubles as most musicians do. In a dark place, he turned to the whiskey. Now nobody messed with Clarence Badman Jones because he always had that little grin on his face. That grin that could remind you, yeah, I can play the banjo, but I can play with my fists too. Rupert, on the other hand, he was more of a song and dance man. Staying focused on the music, he knew that his only option out, his only way to make big, was to hit it big and keep practicing. Staying clear of the drugs and whiskey, that's what he did.
Hello, 1920s Mystic Bunnies. You're here today with sunshine. And man, that thing in the sky is shining bright. Today's interview is going to be about jazz artists. Among us today are two lucky, extravagant fellows. One, the artist goes by Badman, also known as Clarence Jones. The other lucky fella is Rupert Brown, and his street name is Crazy Eyes. Our first question of the day is going out to Rupert. When did you actually notice jazz becoming a big thing?
Well, let me see. Where should I start? Oh, well, of course. Jazz was able to start because of the ending of slavery. But then you still had segregation. With segregation, though, and the freeing of the slaves, came opportunities for the black Americans. For example, the minstrel shows. Classics. But after the minstrel shows, there was something else. Ragtime. And it was all the craze.
Well, Clarence, I'll be damned. You're telling me that Rupert and you were part of this ragtime craze?
Well, you see, growing up in Harlem in the early 1900s, we were introduced to ragtime firsthand. Together, we listened to Scotty Joplin best every piano he touched, and even got to listen to Buddy Bolden. And some would say he was even father of jazz.
So, Clarence, you got any of that funky music, baby, running through your veins right now?
I got it running through my head to my toes. Yo, Rube, you got any running through your veins still?
Oh, please. Does that answer your question?
I think it does.
So before we cut out here, is there anything you two boys want to tell me and our crowd here about this funky music?
Well, yeah, Sunshine. I just want to tell all you viewers out there and listeners that jazz ain't about setting something down on music, on the paper.
No, it's not.
It's not about writing something down on musical lines.
No, it's not.
It's about showing up, looking out into that audience, feeling the
oomph,
and just playing on.
Playing on.
You can't write this down.
You cannot write this down.
You can't make a CD out of what we're doing.
No CDs allowed.
You make a CD out of what you're selling out. You're selling out. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Sadly, shortly after this interview, Clarence fell to a life of the whiskey. He stopped playing music with Rupert and fell off the face of the world. Nobody heard from him ever again. Family, friends, but we do wish him the best. Years passed and Rupert became a very famous jazz musician. He played among some of the most popular speakeasies in Harlem, and even played besides names like Glenn Miller and, as you can see in this picture, Louis Armstrong.